once it got to this point, I got major Menendez brothers vibes from this book. The two brothers that shot their parents back in the 90s.
I only know a little bit about that.
Okay. I'm a huge true crime junkie, and I went through just recently, probably in the last year, like I binged.
It was a similar type situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, and the Menendez brothers killed their parents back in was it the late 80s, early 90s? I can't remember.
Yeah.
The dad was very rich.
Yeah. I think I saw like a little documentary.
Yeah, mom was a drug addict because dad was mentally abusive, and so mom was very absent in their lives because, again, she's checked out. And for some reason, even though Anton didn't kill anybody, I still got major Menendez brothers.
Just thick as thieves. They're going to...
Thick as thieves. We're going to do whatever we have to do. Big brother Menendez, Eric's the young brother. I can't remember the older brother's name. Like, they sort of had this theme where we need to get you out of this house and away from dad. Of course, Eric was a little bit more susceptible to dad once big brother was out of the house.
Right.
And so, I don't know why. I just got major Menendez brothers vibes. Yeah.
That you tied it to that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bookish Introverts podcast. Join host Amazon bestselling author Brett Nelson and avid reader Melanie Dyer as they dive in to review books they've read, then chat with the amazing authors behind them. Quiet minds, big bookshelves. You don't want to miss it.
Hey everybody, it's Charity and Brett, and we're back with another really interesting book review that we can't wait to talk to you about today.
And I have to say, I picked this book.
You did.
We're not going to go into it too far right now, but tell them what we read and who it's by.
So we read Trophy Son.
His name is Douglas Brunt.
Douglas Brunt.
And this is not a book that I typically would have chosen because it's sort of a sports themed book.
Right, and it's also not Christian fiction.
Yes, I do want to make that disclaimer up front.
I don't think we quite knew what we were getting into.
No, we didn't. I knew it was secular,
right.
But we primarily do Christian fiction, clean fiction on here. So before anyone runs out to buy it, just be aware that this is a secular book and it has quite a bit of profanity in it, including the F word.
Yeah.
It does have a couple of intimacy scenes that maybe I'm a prude, but I didn't care for it. Intimacy belongs in a bedroom behind closed doors, not for
everybody to read about.
Yeah.
Or see or any of those things.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I guess if you like that, get on with your bad self. I personally don't. So just be aware that there are elements to it that if you're sensitive to those sort of things as a Christian, you may not want to read this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trophy Son by Douglas Brunt.
Why did you pick this book? I'm curious to know this.
The reason I chose this book is, there's kind of two reasons.
Okay.
Sort of the smaller reason that I wanted to read this book is I have sort of been forcing myself to read books that aren't typically the style of book that I would normally read.
Okay. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's good for us to do that.
I did that with Brandon Sanderson. You know, I'm still plowing through the Brandon Sanderson book. Last year, my major reading goal was to read a few historical fiction books because
you were historically not a fan.
I've never been a fan of historical fiction, and I have read a few up to that point. Do you know I would rather read a biblical fiction book than anything right now?
They're really good, aren't they?
They are.
Do you think that that's part of, like, for me, I have this, like, longing, a greater longing now for heaven than I ever have. And I really find myself thinking about the things of the Lord more than I ever have. And so I wonder if that's why, like, it brings that stuff to life and it feeds that part of us that, like, wants to know more about Christ and his followers.
Yeah, you know, and for me, I like reading it because it sort of brings alive that time period that none of us were alive.
Sure.
And two, I think there's a lot of historical fiction. A lot of times they're sort of from the perspective of lesser known characters. I'm reading one right now. It's called Salome.
Okay. I've heard that.
I can't remember the author's name. She's a London-based. I'll flash her name. It's something I can't remember. And it's about. Do you remember in the Bible the lady that danced before Herod?
Yeah.
And he was so impressed by her that he promised her anything up to half of his kingdom.
Yes.
And then
the daughter of his brother
of Herod,
wife
the stepdaughter of Herod, or was it the daughter?
So her mother. So
was
Herod,
married to Herod.
Well, yeah, sort of. She was actually
Her
married to
brother.
Herod's brother.
Herod's brother, yeah.
And then he took her.
Yes.
And this was her daughter. that
Yes.
James
And
took.
Jesus sort of condemned her
Yes.
for that. So she had a vendetta.
Not Jesus, John the Baptist.
John the Baptist. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
John the Baptist. So she had a vendetta against John the Baptist.
Yes.
So when Herod promised her
So is Salome
half
the
of the
daughter?
kingdom, Salome is Herodias' daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's why I knew the name.
That's why you knew the name, yeah. And so, of course, when he offers half the kingdom, the mother, Herodias, pulls the daughter
Says,
aside.
"This
I
is
never
what I
knew
want."
her name. And she coerces her daughter into
She wants John the Baptist's
head. Yeah.
So they're kind of reading a lot into that. We don't know.
We don't know, yeah, because I don't think the girl was ever named. So Salome was the name that she was given. And when I went in to do some research about, there is a Salome that was an ardent follower of Jesus. I don't know if this is the same Salome, but the book depicted it as that Salome, she resented her mother because she liked John the Baptist. Like she loved Jesus and she loved his teachings. And so it sort of
This was
is
against her will.
yeah, it was against her will, and so it's sort of her progress of working her way through being a part of John the Baptist's death.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
That's
it was
really
a
interesting.
really good book.
I would
Yeah,
read that.
yeah, and so I don't know if that was really the character's name, but anyway, I love just feeling immersed in a time that we all have never lived through.
Yeah,
and
well-
I kind of feels like it brings the characters in the Bible alive to us.
Yes, that's like The Chosen. Have you watched that at all? The
I
TV
haven't
series?
because I don't like historical.
I'm just telling you, I adore it. Like, and I can't make it through an episode without a box of tissues. Because
Really?
I'm gonna cry multiple
I need to
times
try it
every
sometime.
single
I just I don't like old
I
movies.
think you should give it. It's not old though. Like the way they film it, it feels like you are right there.
Okay.
Like it is so good.
Okay, I'll try it.
And I will say the first episode for me was a little slower moving because it really focuses on Mary Magdalene and it's before Christ finds her for a portion of it, so it's pretty heavy. But from that point on, like they're filming season 7 right now, and they just finished up filming the crucifixion, and I don't know how I'm going to survive. Like I don't know how I'm going to be able to watch it because I'm in love with all of these characters now.
Yeah.
And it really does bring, like, when I'm reading the Bible now and I'm going through Acts and I'm seeing all these things that are happening, or even through the Gospels, it's like, oh, that's maybe, because they've done their research and they've tried to make it as historically accurate as they can, within reason, you know. And there is some creative license
But stuff
there.
that's how it is with Christian fiction. You have to take some creative license because these people that are depicted, like in The Chosen and in books, we get a fraction
little bit.
of their lives in the Bible, and a lot of people berate biblical fiction for that reason because they feel like it's adding to the Bible. No, it's not adding to the Bible. You're fictionalizing an accounting that we have a very small portion of.
I think you should give it a shot. I think you would like it.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Especially since you've kind of been on this journey of like a little more historical.
Learning to appreciate, yeah. So that was the main reason. I think I'll just like the familiarity of opening a book and seeing people that you've heard about, you know, and just getting to see a little bit. But the main reason I picked up this book, I am in love with Kelly. What's her name? Megyn Kelly.
Oh, Megyn Kelly.
Okay, Megyn Kelly.
Well, like the political pundit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She and when I say I'm in love with her, I mean that in a respectful sort of way. I adore the crud out of Megyn Kelly.
Okay.
And and her husband is Doug Brunt.
Oh.
So this author is her husband.
Okay.
Yeah. When not this book, but another book came out, because her podcast is like one of the top podcasts on Spotify. It's like number 3 or something.
Okay.
She's got a major YouTube channel. And she used to work for, I think it was the Today Show back in the day.
Okay.
And so anyway, so she had her husband on talking about this, not this book, but another one. Well, he made mention of this book, and I thought it sounded interesting. So I watch Megyn Kelly's show all the time. I started watching her a couple years ago. I know this is about Doug Brunt, but I adore Megyn Kelly. So several years ago, Megyn Kelly, she got fired from ABC or whatever network it was, for whatever reason. And right after she started her podcast, she had a knock 'em down, drag it with Jane Fonda.
Oh.
And while she was on the Today Show, she had Jane Fonda and Robert Redford on. Well, Jane Fonda was rude to Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
And
she kind of has a rep for that.
she does. Well, of course, she was working for ABC or whatever, so she was kind of nice about it. Well, after she quit ABC or whatever channel does the Today Show, she started her own podcast. Well, Jane Fonda publicly said something about Megyn Kelly because Megyn Kelly, I love listening to Megyn Kelly because she calls herself, she's an independent. She doesn't really classify herself as a conservative.
So like maybe libertarian more, where she's kind of in the middle?
Well, she calls herself an independent. Like, I'm registered as an independent. I'm not registered as a Republican. But anyway, a lot of the things that she believes are more on the conservative side. But she does say, I do have some liberal leanings, So she said, I consider myself more middle of the road. Well, Jane Fonda, a couple years ago, said something about her with no provocation as far as Megyn Kelly knew. Well, Megyn Kelly eviscerated her. And she said, let me tell you something, Miss Jane Fonda. I'm not going to take a lesson on ethics from Hanoi Jane.
That's right.
So...
It was well before my time, but I've done enough reading and research to know kind of how that went down. And there's the thing, like, Jane Fonda is an extremely talented actress.
Oh, yes.
She has made some of the best movies to be made.
Even some of her recent movies, I've really enjoyed them. Monster-in-Law, that's a fantastic movie.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard time supporting anything that she does because of how she did treat things during that time.
Yeah. Well, and I had to kind of look it up because was that the 60s or the 70s? I can't remember exactly.
It would have been in the late 60s.
Okay, so I wasn't even alive at that time. I knew about it, but yeah, basically she went over to to where the Vietnam War is, somewhere over there, and basically did some un-American things. Mm-hmm. It took pictures with planes that killed Americans and just some things she said.
They took her through some of the prisoner of war camps, and she saw the condition of our soldiers and said nothing to their defense. So I don't really have a lot of respect for, but honestly, I've lost a lot of respect for a lot of celebrities these days. Listen, I can't,
because they're openly antagonistic.
I cannot hardly even read about celebrities anymore because of all the stuff that's coming out right now. I'm just like, this is appalling. This is disgusting. I want nothing to do with any of it. And that's that's kind of a sad thing.
It is.
I feel like we're watching in real time almost the death of Hollywood.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And I love movies. I love good movies.
And that's not, statistically, more movies flop than succeed these days. People are not going to the movies anymore.
It's because they don't make them good anymore.
They don't make them good anymore. Because let's be honest, most celebrities, they're like I am. They're about as smart as a box of rocks.
There are a few exceptions out there.
There are a few,
and there have been a few movies in the last few years that I have thoroughly enjoyed and I thought were extremely well made. But they're not light, easy movies. They're the ones that are heavy subject matter. Did you watch Oppenheimer?
I started it, couldn't get into it.
We watched Oppenheimer. Okay, similarly, I'm a huge fan of Cillian Murphy, the lead actor.
Oh, I love him too, yeah.
He's amazing.
Red Eye. He was great in Red Eye.
Yes, and in The Dark Knight, when he was Scarecrow. He's terrifying in that role.
He's a good villain.
He's an excellent villain.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then, I'm not even sure I should fess up to this. I'm not going to say it.
No, fess up, girl.
we got into Peaky Blinders, which is his Netflix series.
I've never heard of it.
Well, it's not great.
Oh, okay.
As far as, you cannot watch it with kids.
Okay.
There's a ton of language, a lot of, killing. It's based in, 1940s. No, this would be it starts in the late 20s into the 30s. Birmingham, England, and it's after the World War, after the First World War, and he fought in it. But they basically are a gypsy gang, and they run the underworld, sort of. It's very, very interesting. But he has played that character for I forget how many seasons it was. So he's kind of aged with this character through it, and now they're coming out with a movie. They just released the movie to kind of tie it up with a bow.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we watched Oppenheimer. So Peaky Blinders is excellent if you can tolerate the language.
Well, most movies these days are that way. They're good if you can get past the profanity.
And the fashion in it, Brett, is so good.
Is it?
They did their research. The fashion in it is
top-notch. Well, Melanie, if you're listening, you may want to watch. Melanie loves to talk about details like that. Clothing, fashion. Yeah.
And every time I watch it, I'm looking at what the ladies are wearing, and I'm just like, ugh, why don't we
see
dress
me?
Like that anymore?
I don't pay attention to what anybody wears in movies.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And like the first time we watched an episode, I looked at Cody and I was like, okay, see, that is what a man should look like in those, because it's like the 3-piece suits with all the vests and like they just look so sharp.
I'm just saying, nobody went to Walmart in their pajamas back then.
No.
I'm just saying.
They did not.
Yeah.
And they looked nicer for it.
They did.
Anyway, all that said, Oppenheimer is the movie I've seen most recently that I thought was very well made.
Maybe I need to give it a shot again.
There were some things in it that I think you could have done without, certainly. But I thought that each person, like each, because that's a historical thing, like that's an event that actually happened. They had to really stay true, as much as they could to like how those things went down, because some of those people are still living, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or had died not in the too distant past.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of like actual historical record that they could fall back on, and even footage and videos and things that they could do their research on. So I really enjoyed it. But for the most part, the stuff that's in the theaters is not great.
No. I don't even remember. Sometime my friend Christina and I, around the Christmas holiday season, usually they'll push out a few new movies during the holidays.
And sometimes they'll show like Home Alone in the theaters. And then I'm like, sign me up. We'll go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's just, movies are trash these days. And I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Watch a lot of we watch a lot of, and I know you don't like old movies, but we watch a ton of old like musicals. We watched Oklahoma the other day. We do like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, Mary Poppins. And I know that probably sounds very childish, but they're wholesome. And
you can watch it with your kids.
I don't have to worry about what's coming across the screen.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about what they're picking up. They don't make TV they don't make movies like that anymore. And it makes me really sad. I love Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
She's just the queen. I love her.
She is. Yeah.
I adore her. Princess Diaries, it's one of the best ones she's done recently.
It is. Yeah. I wish she would do more, but I guess she deserves her retirement. I don't know that she's fully retired, but she may still be doing a few things, but yeah.
She's right up there with like Betty White for me.
Yes.
I loved Betty White.
That was a sad day when Betty died.
Depressing.
Yeah. I love Betty White.
I don't know how we got off.
I don't either.
Should we talk about the book
Let's
now?
talk about the book. So, again, Trophy Son by Douglas Brunt. It's kind of like we said, it's a sports book, kind of a coming-of-age story. The main character is Anton. He starts out, 12, 13 years old?
Yeah.
Something like. He's in the 8th grade. He's playing tennis, and his dad is like a helicopter dad.
He's his coach, basically.
Yeah, you know how you have these dance girls, and their moms are like tyrants, and
yeah, I never watched Dance Moms.
I didn't either, but I've heard of it. Yeah, there's these horrible moms that are just relentless with their daughters because they want them to excel. This is the male equivalent of Dance Moms.
Yeah.
So
like they're Greek. So his dad is very forceful
yes.
in his personality, which tracks with everything I've read about people of that heritage, that they generally tend to be more boisterous and serious and like take things very like intense.
Yes.
And then his dad was also both of his parents, his mother and his father, were both Olympians.
Yes.
At different points, and that's how they actually met.
And plus, his dad has made millions. They're very well off.
Oh yeah.
And so so you also have that. They've led very privileged life. So dad's used to getting what he wants.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we learned early on is that he was on the Olympic swim team in the 80s, like 84 or something, and swam well, but his opponent got in his head and he did not medal. And it seems like that loss is sort of what drives him to push Anton.
Yeah, for sure. But he wants to live vicariously through his son. He wants his son to lead the life that he wasn't able to achieve for himself. Yeah. Now he achieved a lot in his life.
It doesn't sound like it was a bad life.
But the one thing he couldn't have, that Olympic medal, he is bound to determine his son's going to have that.
A world champion.
A world champion. Yeah. So Anton spends hours a day. And this is in the 8th grade.
They pull him out of school. He has a tutor.
Yeah.
But the bulk of his day is training.
Playing tennis. He kind of goes out to these colleges.
Okay, I was very uncomfortable with his dad putting him in these situations.
Yeah.
What kind of parent? And I get it. Like
a ruthless parent.
And he does it. Like he says, because one of the things we talked about a little bit is earlier is that this is written from first person point of view. So Anton is telling the story like we're sitting here and he's telling me,
and
I went and did ABC.
First person is my least favorite. I hate reading in the first person.
So I told him, I was like, it was kind of a nice change for me because we don't read a lot of that. I don't read a lot of that. And so I was engaged with the voice this time.
And he's a phenomenal writer.
It's so well written.
In the technical aspect, Douglas Brunt is
Beautifully written.
he's got a beautiful writing technique.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know anything about tennis. Like, I literally, when he was talking about sets and match points, and I had to go look that up because I don't know what that means.
I just skipped past it. I didn't even bother.
I mean, I didn't get too in depth, but I did want to have an understanding of like how that was playing out as he's describing some of these matches.
Yeah. So he would send his son to these colleges, to these college tennis campuses, just to where these college guys were playing tennis. Well, of course, so
he's like 14 at this point.
Yeah, and he would go up to him with like $500 and say, "Hey, I bet I can beat you." Well, of course, these college guys are going to be like, "Oh, sure, well, exactly." Well, not knowing that basically, because at this point, Anton was a very good player, and he often won against these. Well, so he was kind of a hustler.
Yeah, and
a tennis
his
hustler.
Dad wanted him to have that experience playing against those guys, but he also like got this kind of high from like, my young kid beat your
college age
athlete, you know.
Yeah,
and he wanted to keep him hidden. Kind of at first, he didn't want him getting too well known, so that's why he would, so that he could get that experience. That's kind of part of why he did it that way.
Yeah. So at this point, do you think, was Anton a prodigy, or was had he just been trained so much that he was exceptionally good?
I mean, here's the thing. I think that argument can be made for like most elite athletes.
Yeah, because to me, a prodigy is someone that's naturally good at something that doesn't need a lot of, I mean, even if you're really good at the piano, you still need piano lessons. So,
whereas like a true prodigy just sits down and knows it and plays it.
That's kind
like
of
Mozart, who was playing when he was like 3.
Yes, and that's kind of in my mind what a prodigy is. So as I read this, like in my mind, I almost felt like he was a tennis prodigy. But then I was like, was he really, or was he just really good?
Well, and that's sort of what he struggles with throughout the book. That's kind of a recurring question with him as he goes. Is like, am I really this good, or is it just that I've trained so hard my whole life?
Yeah,
that, like,
he's been training 8 hours a day since he was 12.
For forever.
Yeah.
And so, well, even younger than that. I mean,
even younger than that, yeah.
Yeah, because it talks about when he was, the first picture of him is him in the cradle with a tennis racket in there with him.
Yeah. I don't remember when this book was set. Do you? I know it went through several from his childhood. Like, did this start like in the 90s?
Late, yeah, like in the early 90s.
Maybe? I didn't make note of it, but to me, this had a very like 80s.
Felt like the 90s.
It did. It had a very 80s, 90s vibe to it.
I think he kind of starts like more in the 90s, because if you think like they were on the 84 Olympics.
Well, exactly.
So he would have had to be in the mid 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel like a 2000s book. Yeah. No. So you do get sort of those vintage vibes, which I like.
Oh yeah.
Because the 90s is my era.
It was the best.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So there is also, his mother is in the picture. Like we don't see a lot from her. She's kind of passive in the whole book. She basically lets his dad do whatever. Yeah. With him.
Well, he's kind of one of those guys. He's such a
forceful.
He's kind of such a forceful guy that everybody's afraid to stand up to him, to speak their mind. And one of his dad's favorite mottos is, "A friendly game will ruin you. Play with animosity. No friendly games."
That sounds terrible.
That's a horrible motto. Yeah.
It's terrible to me.
That's what Anton grew up under.
Yeah. So, and then he also has an older brother. Okay, the older brother is he's the only character I like in the book.
Panos,
I think. And he's like 3 years older than Anton. He did some tennis at first, but it didn't seem like he maybe had the spark, the edge that Anton had, so his dad kind of just brushed him to the side.
Anton was the golden boy when it came to that.
And so he just kind of brushed him to the side, and Panos gets to live like a really regular life. He goes to high school and does all the things, and Anton really kind of envies that, I think. But they understand each other. Like, Panos sort of envies that Anton gets all of his dad's attention, but also he doesn't envy the way that Anton gets it.
Yeah. So Panos gets to live his life.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I am so glad I was not raised like that. Yeah, I got to carve. My parents let me carve my own path. Can you imagine living under this kind of...
No, because this truly, as I was reading it, I was like, well, this is emotional and, like, even in some cases,
totally.
Physical abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Mental abuse, like just very much a manipulator.
And listen, verbal abuse and mental abuse, it is just as bad as physical abuse.
Yeah, and I mean, it leaves marks on the psyche. So.
It does, absolutely.
Anton's really lonely, like, because tennis is such a solitary game. He doesn't really have a lot of friends. He doesn't really have any people that are his age that he's around.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me also was really sad, because kids need other kids around.
Yeah.
I mean,
you need to socialize with people your age, with people that you have something in common with. And even people his age, when he did get to hang out with them, they didn't have anything in common with him.
right.
So he sees a girl for the first
girl.
time.
So when he was in school, he remembered, they were actually at a restaurant, right? Like for him winning a tournament. And he sees this girl, Liz, across the way. And he remembers her from when he's at school. And she's beautiful. She was like the unattainable one that everybody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of struck up a conversation, and she invited him to a school dance. And so then the next thing you know, he's going to the dance with her. And of course his mom is thrilled, because it's like a normal childhood experience or teenhood experience he should be having.
Dad doesn't want anything. He
doesn't want him to do it. Doesn't want him to date. But this is the one time his mom is like, "You're going to let him do this."
Yes, her name is Liz. The girl's name is Liz. Yeah. So good for mom. Mom sets her foot down. She goes, "We are going to let him have this relationship." Yeah.
So they end up starting to date, and I mean, as it happens, when you like someone for the first time, or you have your first kind of crush, it kind of consumes his world.
Yeah. I mean, especially when it's your first love. But let's be honest, anytime you're in love, you just that person just
you just want to be with them.
You want to be with them. You want to talk to them. They're the first thing on your mind when you wake up. That's just normal. Yeah.
So his dad's like trying to interfere, but they're just working around it, making it happen. And they're kind of partners in crime in this. Liz is like being like, "Well, it's not fair that he does you this way," like all these things.
Yeah.
But Anton starts losing. And his dad, of course, immediately is like, "It's the girl.
It's
you
the
gotta
girl.
get rid of the girl."
Yeah.
Anton doesn't think that's it. He thinks it's just that he's unhappy, and so he's not playing well. So his dad's answer to that is that they're going to get a coach.
Yes.
Enter Gabe. So Gabe comes in and starts to kind of work with him and tells, Anton, like, basically, you have to decide, do you want to chase this world #1 title? Because if you do, it's going to require you to make a lot of sacrifices. And this needs to be a family conversation. I did appreciate that he approached it from that. Like, the whole family needed to be involved, because they were all going to live that life if that's what he chose.
Well, and you do when you're going for something that big, regardless of what it is, it takes sacrifice, and you have to choose. Sometimes, in order to achieve big things, you have to sacrifice family and friends and fun.
Yeah. So Anton takes a few days, thinks about it, and then decides, I'm going to pursue this. And he tells him, like, I'll do it for a year with you. I'll give you everything I've got for a year.
Yeah.
And then we'll reassess, basically.
Yeah. Which is a good plan. You're not stuck if you decide in a year this is not really, really what you want out of life. So I think that was a reasonable way to handle that.
I do, too. I think so, too.
Part of me wonders if Doug Brunt, is this part of his...
Well, I wondered, too, like, if he plays or if he, has some...
Yeah, like did he have someone in his life that sort of treated... And it's not always, just because somebody writes a book doesn't necessarily mean it's about their life. But, there is a part of you that wonders, I wonder how much of this is entwined with their own life.
From our own experiences.
You write what you know. Yeah. So, if we ever have him on, maybe we can ask him.
One of the other... Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be great. Maybe you could talk to Megan.
He's got a podcast. I know. Honestly, I would...
Megan Kelly, if you see this,
we
would love to chat with you.
Yeah. We would love to chat with you, and you can bring Doug if you want. We're
awesome.
kidding. We love you too, Doug. And Doug is super nice. I've seen him on her show. He's got a podcast too.
Really?
Yeah, he's in a Bookish podcast. He talks to big name authors. Yeah, he's kind of like we are. He doesn't get like Megyn Kelly level views, but
mid.
Yeah, but I mean, it's better than our 20. So it's
there.
better than our 20 YouTube views.
We're
So
gonna get there.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So anyway, I got us off on another tangent, but yeah.
I like our tangents.
Yeah.
So the other condition that Gabe has for working with Anton is that he must see a sports psychologist. I actually kind of love this, because it's like maybe for the first time somebody's recognizing that there is a lot of strain on these athletes. And I think Gabe probably knows that because he had lived it to a point.
Yeah.
Because he was a very good athlete, and this is kind of what he's doing in his sort of like semi-retirement, like when he's no longer an active player.
Yeah.
Because really, everything that I was picking up from this, and even like what I've noticed in other sports, from everything from like mixed martial arts to, football, basketball, the window of time that a person gets to play is actually pretty short.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of life after to do things with.
Yeah.
You're not going to be an elite athlete your whole life.
Exactly. It tears your body down too
It's
much.
very difficult.
The funny thing is, I never really thought, until I read this book, when you think of like a celebrity, like an athlete, like a football player or whatever, you see the glamorous side of their life. You see them, on the
Right.
red carpets with the beautiful actress on their arm. You don't really stop to think
About wear
of the
and tear on their
psychological,
body.
well, their body and just the psychological.
Yeah.
Like there is so much pressure on them to get there and then to stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just never really thought of that, and I was like,
I hadn't either, and I did find that interesting because that's something that he talks about throughout the book is like how much harder he has to work and how much more difficult it gets the further up you move.
Yeah. Once you
That
hit
the
those
goalposts
benchmarks.
just get further and further.
Yeah.
To reach those spots.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're talking about the number one in the world in tennis,
it's a big deal.
it takes a lot to get there and to stay there. You know, as fast as you get there, you're on the way back down.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's always no matter how good you are, there's always
There's
somebody
always some
better.
young up-and-comer coming.
Yep.
Coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another Anton out there waiting to topple you off your
seat.
throne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So he does do it. Well, he kind of gets done dirty on the psychologist. His dad picks one who is basically just doing whatever his dad tells him.
Yes.
And that's a problem.
Which you may as well not even have a
That's why
psychologist.
at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Anton realizes that pretty quick and just doesn't tell him anything of note,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Yeah.
So one night he and Liz are supposed to go on a date. He decides he wants to go watch her cheer before
Yeah.
the date, heads to the game, and this is where he kind of experiences his first taste of betrayal.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
why?
I will say, if you do read this book, chapter 5
Just
is that's where he has his first physical intimacy. Well, no, actually, he doesn't have it with her.
no, it's where he catches
He
her.
walks in on her with two or three football players or something.
one.
Oh, was it just one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The girls were in like the pool before.
That's right.
And he went on in back into the pool.
Yeah.
She's with the kids.
Yeah, that's right. It
I
wasn't.
just was like, okay, floored though. Like, are high school students really doing these things on high school campuses?
Well, I wasn't.
was I so oblivious?
Maybe we were. Maybe we were just.
Right.
Yeah, and I will
Super
say
naive.
it was not like a super descriptive scene, but it was enough that I just didn't like it.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, it was just kind of hinky.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to have all the details that we got.
Yeah.
You could have just said, "I walked in on him and walked out."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
and here's the other thing. Like through this book, you mentioned that there's a couple of other intimate scenes. None of them were what I would consider like romantic in any way.
No. Yeah, this was
Very-
not romantic. This was pure lust.
Yeah, and very almost like clinical in the way he describes it. But I think it's because at this point he doesn't have a lot of experience.
But in all honesty, though, Charity, don't you think that's how
It really is.
that's how the media portrays it these days?
Yeah.
Whether you see those scenes in movies, whether you see it in books, it's just gratuitous
Most of the time,
intimacy.
yes. And
It's never romantic. It's always gross and filthy,
Right.
and that's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And again, if you are a Steam reader, this is probably going to be
is not-
very tame for you.
Yeah, it wasn't what I would consider.
It wasn't graphic.
That.
It was, yeah. It just, for me, I choose to not read
It
stuff
just felt
like
very
that.
cold, I guess, is the way.
Yes, there was no warmth but it's because you're just doing it with some random person.
Well,
that-
and he even talks about that a lot, like through the book from his perspective. It's like I'm just
And it scarred
blowing
him
off
for
steam.
life.
Yeah, this messed him up.
It scarred
This
him for
messed
life.
Up when he
Yeah.
when he caught Liz like that, because I think it was his first love. He loved her
Mm-hmm.
and thought she loved him. Well, it turned out he was just the dirty little secret like that she was seeing on the side,
yeah,
and so it really kind of jacked him up with relationships from that point on.
yeah. Maybe we're just prudes, but I didn't. I never knew if stuff like this went on when I was in school.
I know.
Of course, I was not cool in school, so I didn't hang out with the cool people, so I don't know what the cool people did.
Apparently, there were like parties and things that other people that I was close to got invited to that I had no idea ever even happened. So
Same, yeah.
which I'm not. mad
Well, and
about.
even if I had known, honestly, I probably wouldn't have wanted to go. I was the type of person, I would just as soon stay home on a Friday night and read a book.
Yeah. Me too.
Now, I did hang out with my friends because all of my friends were more like me.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
know, so like for us, a wild night was going out and playing 2 games of bowling instead of 1.
Yeah. Well, and I had a really good group of friends, girls, that I was close to that, as we got older, they would talk about some things, some of them that were,
Oh, well,
had
sure.
boyfriends or whatever, but
Yeah.
not like that. Like,
Yeah.
not like what we read here. And so,
Yeah. It was just shocking to read because we read clean, and I know you do too.
Yeah.
I read Christian and clean, so
Fiction.
to run across scenes like this, it's always a little bit shocking to me.
And I think too, like over the last several years, I've been really convicted about everything that I watched, with the exception of the Peaky Blinders, which is just gore.
Lord,
It's a
please
lot
don't
of gore.
convict me of that one.
There's a lot of gore in it. It's a lot of killing, but even at that, Bridgerton's a huge phenom right now. That a phenom, like everybody wants to.
Never seen it, but yeah.
I watched the first season and I just was so convicted the whole time because I was like, I can't. And the stories are really, like, the characters are lovable, but I can't do it.
Now that's interesting. How is it that you can't watch that, but you can watch Tiki Blinders?
Well, I think in Peaky Blinders there's less of, like, the intimacy things.
Oh, okay.
There's only a few little blips of that through the whole, like, 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very quick. They're over very quick.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, like, Bridgerton, that's a huge focus. It's a steamy, like, romance.
That's almost the point.
That's kind of the point.
Oh, okay.
And
so if you like trashy smut, you're going to like Bridgerton.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, again, when we talk about things that are particularly well done, like, the costuming is very well done. The sets are beautiful. And I think if you took that out, the stories would be compelling.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't watch it. I just can't. Like, I made it through that first season, and the entire time I was fighting that gut feeling of, like, you need to not be watching this.
Yeah.
And so I just haven't watched any of the rest of them. So it's interesting, like, the blood and the guts and the killing, I guess for whatever reason, it doesn't, because I'm not going to go out and kill somebody, I guess. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I'm not tempted to do those things, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah.
But this was just kind of,
yeah.
It was just, meh.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it. Like,
yeah, same.
We didn't have to have that.
Yeah. Well, really, I mean, honestly.
He could have just said he caught her with another boy, and that was the end of it.
And it ruined my life forever. Yeah.
So, after that, he decides that he actually does have a conversation with his mom, and she tells him, she says, Anton, if you'll stop fighting your father, if you'll support him, most of the difficulties will go away, and it'll be a lot easier if you go along with it. But as a mom, I could never. Like, I'm not letting anybody mistreat my child.
Yeah.
Especially, even if it's their dad, especially if it's their dad.
As I say, but you didn't have a dad like Anton's dad.
No.
That people were afraid, Again, I'm so glad to not have been raised in a family where I had to go along with somebody that behaved badly just to keep peace in the family. Yeah. And that's basically what Anton's family had to do. They had to lie low to keep peace in the family.
They're walking on eggshells all the time.
Yeah, and that's no way to live.
It's terrible. She does, I think his mom sort of, like, wishes that she had done some things different, but she feels like it's too late, maybe, to kind of step in at this point. That's kind of the vibe I get.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next thing we know, he's kind of back on track. He's getting it back together on the court. He's winning games again. He doesn't lose a set all summer long, and apparently that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Yeah. But to him, even though he's back on track, he starts feeling like everything in his life is just one-dimensional because, again, all he has is tennis, basically, especially once Liz betrayed him. He starts feeling like he has nothing but tennis. Yeah. So he kind of talks to his psychologist about it. Yeah. And this is still the dad one, right? Yeah, this is still the dad psychologist. And I think the psychologist kind of tells him, you're going to have to pick. Yeah. Again, they kind of had the same conversation. Yeah. And he decides he's going to do it again. He wants to keep doing it. Yeah. He just can't let go of the tennis because that's kind of become his identity.
Only thing he has.
Yeah.
So his dad ends up hiring him a couple of guys to hang out with his entourage. Adam, actually, I take that back. I did like Adam too. I felt like he was just kind of a cool, chill. He's a stoner apparently, but he's there to restring the rackets.
And I'm telling you, some of the best characters in movies are the stoner guys. Yeah.
And then Bobby, who is this older gentleman that's apparently super muscly and super tan.
Yeah. Surfer dude.
He's his trainer.
Yeah.
So I think really the big ethical discussion in this book is what happens next. Is like he turns 18, he gets injured, and at this point he's been training most of his life. So there's been already a ton of wear and tear on his very young body.
Yeah, which again, I did not know tennis could be this brutal on your body. I mean, to me,
think about it, all the like impact on your joints.
it totally makes sense when you stop and think about it. Yeah, but like before I read the book, I was just like, and of course I've never watched tennis.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's two guys out there whacking a ball back and forth.
Motion, though.
Yeah, and it's jarring to your body. It totally makes sense. But like until I read this, I was like, I never thought of tennis as being particularly brutal to the player.
That was one of the things I did appreciate about the book, is that it kind of did open my eyes to like what that must be like to train in these settings. And I thought that was really interesting. Not probably something I'm ever going to do.
I feel like people like this, if this is really how it is,
I think it's probably pretty accurate.
I feel like it's probably more brutal than a football player training for the contact sport of it's more dangerous than football. But I feel like
their season lasts so long. I mean, it's like a really long. What is it, like 9 months out of the year or something? That they don't get a very long break.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these sports, like they're stretched.
They're spring and summer.
Yeah, it's like half the year they've got off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting too.
And this is kind of where the story starts to shift a little once he turns 18.
He starts to kind of break free from his dad a bit.
He starts to break free from his dad, yeah, and then he finally gets a doctor where they start, and I did not know this book was going to go there. Mm-hmm. They start having the discussions of introducing performance.
So the doctor doesn't do that. That's Bobby, the trainer.
Bobby, yeah.
He gets hurt, and this injury's like not healing, and so Bobby's like, hey dude, like
I got something that can help you. Yeah.
Some steroids. And like Anton is so naive still to that at this point that he's just appalled. Well, then he finds out that like all of the top guys.
Yeah. See, and I didn't realize this was that big of a thing back then.
I think it's still a thing now.
I
think so.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
I guess in my mind, the 90s I feel like almost feel like 90s was an age of innocence, and maybe that was because I was so young, and I grew up in a Christian home, so I was very sheltered compared to even most kids that I grew up with. So yeah, I didn't realize, but according to this, tennis was inundated with that in the 90s, with performance enhancing drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so at first he's like, no way, not doing it. Like, I am not going to be that. If I can't do it on my own, I don't want it, essentially. Which I admire in a person, so that's great. They have a big birthday party for their mom's 50th, and Panos is like, dude, just come live with me. Like, you can live in my dorm room. And I thought that was so sweet.
Yeah. And Panos had a plan. He was like, you can go away. We won't tell Dad where you are. We'll just let him know that you're safe, that I know where you are, that I know you're safe. They weren't going to tell him that Anton was with Panos at school because they knew Dad would just come and get him and drag him back home. Yeah. And I kind of, even though that's kind of cringy to do that to your parents, I kind of respected Panos for it because he was showing big brother energy there.
He absolutely is, and he was definitely trying to really look out for Anton's health, mental health.
Okay, I don't know. Once it got to this point, I got major Menendez brothers vibes from this book. The two brothers that shot their parents back in the 90s.
I know a little bit about that.
Okay, I'm a huge true crime junkie, and I went through just recently, probably in the last year, like I binged.
It was a similar type situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, and the Menendez brothers, they killed their parents back in the. Was it the late 80s, early 90s? I can't remember. Yeah. The dad was very rich.
Yeah. I think I saw like a little documentary.
Yeah, Mom was a drug addict because Dad was mentally and abusive, and so Mom was very absent in their lives because again, she's checked out, and even though Anton didn't kill anybody, I still got major Menendez brothers.
Just thick as thieves. They're gonna
thick as thieves. We're gonna do whatever we have to do, and Big Brother Menendez, Eric's the young brother. I can't remember the young brother's name, the older brother's name. Like they sort of had this theme where we need to get you out of this house and away from Dad. Of course, Eric was a little bit more susceptible to Dad once Big Brother was out of the house.
Right.
And so, I don't know why. I just got major Menendez brothers vibes. Yeah.
That you tied it to that.
Yeah.
In that conversation, Anton tells Panos that like they want him to consider taking steroids, and he's like, I just don't know if I will or not yet. And the thing I loved about Panos is like he was just basically like, I'm gonna love you either way. Like what a big brother.
Yeah.
So then we shoot to the Miami Open, which it's the first time that Anton's there. And he is taking oral steroids, but like nobody has officially told him that they are. They're just kind of like a wink and a smile. It's going to help you feel better. And so he thinks that gives him plausible deniability.
Exactly.
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that. Yeah. He knew what he was taking, but since nobody said it, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of
It's like a lie of omission.
Exactly. And a lie of omission is, guess what? It's still a lie.
Still a lie.
It's still a lie.
Yeah. So Anton ends up facing the world number one at that time, who's this giant Russian guy.
And I'm just saying, Russians are good at everything.
They are, man. They are. There's lots of celebrities there. John McEnroe like to watch and all these things. And so he's wanting to really play his
Did you
best.
know who John McEnroe
I've
was?
heard the
Okay,
name.
because you're younger than I am. So as I was reading and they mentioned John McEnroe, I was like, I wonder if Charity
I
even...
recognize the name.
Okay.
Not that I've ever watched him play.
Yeah,
but
John
I
McEnroe was a big deal back in the
deal.
day.
Yeah. He was kind of that generation, like right before the Williams sisters got big, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was before the Williams sisters, for sure. Yeah. And it's amazing that anybody like John McEnroe, because tennis is not like football, but like...
But I think tennis is
But
like,
if you can achieve heights where everybody in America knows who you are in tennis, that's pretty amazing.
And I think tennis is like kind of the rich people's sport.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, football's accessible to everybody, like your bro down the street, your hillbillies, like everybody loves
Yes,
football.
your toothless hillbillies. Yeah.
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 But tennis is kind of a bougie,
Yeah.
like country clubs. That's what I think
Hoity-toity.
of. Yeah.
Pinky up while I drink.
Exactly
Yeah.
that. So
yeah.
like, I feel like it's a rich people's sport. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I don't know anything.
Well,
about
I mean,
tennis.
Jessica plays tennis.
Really?
Yeah, not on a competitive level. So, but yeah, you're right. The perception of it is that it's a rich person sport.
And as you read this, like he talks about being thrown into situations where he's interacting with a lot of very wealthy people. So
Yeah, yeah,
So he ends up not winning against the Russian, but he knew that it was the best he had ever played, and he felt really good about it. He also, one of the other things I really liked and kind of related to is because he only has tennis and he doesn't really have friends or anything else. He has his entourage, but not friends.
yeah.
The thing that he does that he loves is to read. I think that often happens when you're a little bit socially awkward.
That's why I gravitate to books.
Same.
I would much rather be with a book than a person. I hate to say it, but I would.
So there were a lot of books that he referenced in the story that I thought, I have not read that. I think I might go read that. So I did.
I've never read
appreciate
any
that
of
about
them, yeah, because most of them were classic
it. Yeah,
books.
classics. And I love classics. You know I
Yeah,
do.
I know you do.
So,
Yeah. So at the U.S. Open, he gets what ranking does he make at the U.S. Open? Did we already say that?
no, he just decides to focus at the end of that one
Oh, okay.
on the U.S. Open. And then with 4 days to go, he wants to go out with all of his friends.
Yes. Okay. Now, there's something about this part of the book really struck me as funny.
Okay.
He's at the U.S. Open. He wants to go out with some of the guys, and of course, Dad doesn't want him to because he doesn't want him getting drunk the day before he's supposed to go out and play.
Which is really smart.
Which is smart. Yeah. You know, when you drink, you get dehydrated. You know, you get
It affects your
hungover.
body.
It affects your body. So he kind of does it anyway. He goes out and meets this guy named Rufus,
Who's another tennis player.
who's another tennis player. And this part cracked me. I very rarely laugh out loud at things in books. And he's talking about his friend Rufus. They go out and he says, Rufus isn't handsome, but not totally unattractive. A little goofy looking like anyone named Rufus might ought to look.
Yeah, I love that too.
That cracked me up.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Well-
You just imagine that somebody named, and if you're listening and you are Rufus,
Your
I'm
name is
sorry,
Rufus.
but you just imagine that you're goofy looking.
Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason I pictured like the Goofy movie.
I love Goofy. Goofy's my favorite.
Like I kind of pictured that kind of vibe from
Yeah.
Rufus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I did get tickled though too when he was describing.
But
like,
Rufus was good for him.
Yeah, Rufus
Yeah.
was good for him, and
Yeah.
he like threw him into his group of friends, and they were super welcoming and super kind. But I got
Yes.
tickled when it was talking about them going to that club, how they were all dressed the same.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that is like totally a thing that happened in the 90s where it
Yeah.
was like a thing. Like they all had black suits with bright shirts, no ties, like, and I thought that was totally a thing. Like,
Yes. I missed 90s clothes. I can
they're
remember.
coming back, bro. They're coming back.
Do you remember when silk, like back in the 90s, silk was like the thing?
Well, and
I had a
velvet.
closet full.
For girls, there was a lot of velvet.
Oh, okay.
In the 90s, which I loved.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about some velour. And then like the denim button-down shirts were
Oh,
a big
yeah.
thing, you know.
Yeah. And guys, we'd have those silk shirts, and of course you'd tuck them in, and then you'd billow them out to where,
Blouse it.
You blouse it out. Yeah, I'd love 90s clothing.
Bring it back.
I'm saying.
Bring it back, man.
We need it. Yeah. While they're at this
they go to
club,
a restaurant.
they go to
It's
this
actually a
restaurant.
right?
Yeah, they go, and this is where he meets girl number 2.
He meets Anna.
Anna.
And so, he's a little bit older now.
And is she a starlet or is she an actual star?
She's like on the rise.
Yeah.
Right? Like about to be a big star in
Yeah.
movies. And he just immediately.
Which I'm just saying, if you're a tennis player, and that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Get you a starlet. I wouldn't want to date that kind of woman, but.
Well, Anna seems pretty grounded.
Yeah.
For a starlet, though.
Yeah, she does.
They immediately hit it off. She comes to watch him play. He does really well. But then she's flying to New Zealand to start a movie. But they maintain a good friendship.
He makes it up to 32 in the tennis world.
Yes.
They're in ranking, so.
And Anna is the one who actually gives him the name of a therapist
that's not on Dad's payroll.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's who he winds up using for the rest of the duration of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a good relationship. Like, this is a
They
good
do.
therapist that's like, okay, let's talk about things that pertain to you right now, and then like maybe what this is going to look like in the future. Like,
yeah.
So I really liked that.
Yeah, for sure.
And he talks to the therapist the first time about not having any real friendships, and I loved his therapist reply. He said, you can make friends by making different decisions in your life. You just have to open yourself up to it. Mm-hmm. One of the things my dad always told us was that if you want to have friends, you have to be friendly. In order to make friends, you must show yourself friendly.
Yeah.
And I found that to be true. Like, often, especially now, like as a mom, you can be at the park. There's so many places I can see other moms, like, and you can tell sometimes when someone's like feeling lonely.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable, but in most cases, I have found if I will take the time to like just try to make a connection with that other mom, we both leave happier for it, and like make sometimes a friend, and
some kind of
just an
connection.
acquaintance. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes just that connection's all people need to feel better.
Yeah. And I liked it because he did kind of really open up, and he just tells him, he's like, I feel some resentment toward my parents. Like, they started me in this at 6.
Which he couldn't say to the previous doctor because he was on Dad's payroll.
But he could say it here. And so I felt like this was a healthy relationship for him.
Yeah. So he sees him for a while, and he's at the Wimbledon and is ranked 30.
So he's making
He's
tracks.
slowly making his way up.
Mm-hmm. And then over the next year, he hears from Anna less and less, and then starts, she's a starlet, so she's in the tabloids, in the magazines.
She's cavorting, yeah.
And,
she wants to be seen.
Mm-hmm. And she does end up having some relationships along the way with different co-stars, and that really kind of eats Anton alive.
Yes, because everything they do hits the media, and of course he's seeing this, and some jealousy's kind of brewing. Not like psychotic jealousy, like I'm going to go kill her. Nothing like that, but just it brews inside him. Like
jealous.
he's like, I want her to be mine. I don't want her with them.
Yeah. And so Adam, being the good friend that he is like, well, dude, why don't you just make her jealous? Let me set you up on a date, and she can see you in the magazines, and that's what he does.
That's what he does. Okay, what do you think about these kinds of dating games? These kinds of games in relationships are just exhausting.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I never played them. I will say, though,
because we all have.
Because I got married so young, I didn't play them much.
Yeah.
I only had a couple of boyfriends, and I was like a serial monogamist. Like, all of the boys that I dated for pretty extensive periods of time. Like, the shortest relationship I had was like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's not a short stretch of time.
Well, and my parents always taught us,
Don't
date them unless
you're dating to find out if you're compatible to marry.
Exactly. If you can't see yourself married to them before you're even dating, you probably don't need to waste your time with them.
The exception to that being like my first relationship, it lasted 2 years. We were boyfriend, girlfriend. It never went any further than that. But one of the reasons I can look back so fondly on that relationship is because we never did cross any lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciate that. Like, I learned how to be attentive to someone other than myself and to care about that person in that role.
Yeah.
But we never crossed any lines physically or, that would have created spiritual ties or things like that. And so I'm able to look back at that relationship with just an extreme amount of fondness.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that about it. But I think these games are stupid.
Yes.
I would say, even with, like, Cody, there was a brief period. So we met my senior year of high school. And, like, school started in August. We met at the end of October. Mm-hmm. And I think I knew pretty, like, I would say... Well, the first time I saw him, I knew I felt something for him that I'd never felt for anybody else. But then, as we dated, Like the very first date he took me and all of my sisters. Well, that's not a small thing.
No.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah, there are very few guys that would do that.
And he took us all. Like, my dad was like, if you want to go, the girls have got to go too. And so he's like, okay, load them up, we'll go. And I immediately was just like, whoa, like, who is this guy?
Yeah. And that's a guy that's trying to win your heart. I'm just saying.
He was going for the gold.
He was going for the gold.
That's one of the things to this day that I love is to watch him, like, especially the younger girls. Hannah and Andrea were a little bit older. They didn't really have that. But, like, Michaela and Morgan were only in 4th grade when we got married. So they were much younger. And, like, there have been different points throughout their lives where they have both had conversations with him separately that he's told me about later that I'm like, man, you really are in many ways being a big brother. And it just makes me love him even more. You know, it's so cool to see that play out.
Yeah.
But dated all through the rest of my senior year of high school. I had a promise ring. Like, we were planning for your future, all these things. And then I got real stupid after graduation and decided that when I went to college, I didn't need to have a boyfriend. So dumb. Why did I do this? I don't know why I did it.
Young and dumb.
I think I just
sometimes young and dumb.
I felt scared. You know, I knew I was going to be I was not going to be here. I was going to be away. And so I just was like, I just don't think this is a good idea. So I broke up with him. And this was during the summer. This was like in July. And so, talking about games, he immediately, like the next Sunday, brings a different girl to church. Well, you know, like church was like my whole social life.
Yeah, like was that strategic on his part?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
He was doing it on purpose where it hurt.
He wanted you to see.
And he knew I was going to see because at that point, we weren't doing like 2 services or anything. I was on the platform every single week.
So you saw everything.
So I was going to see.
Yeah.
He knew I was going to see.
Yeah. And it didn't help that he sat on the 3rd row too. No, I don't know.
He sat at the back at that time, actually. But I was so mad.
Yeah.
Even though we had broken up.
And I'm the one that broke up with you. I'm still mad.
Yes, I was so mad because I loved him.
That's
and I knew
hilarious.
I loved him.
Yeah.
So in retaliation,
Oh.
I didn't like go on a date or nothing. One of the things he'd always loved was that I had long hair. I went and chopped my hair off, Brett.
Oh my word! Are you serious?
Would you like to see a photo?
I would love to see a photo.
I chopped it off to here.
And then you need to email it me, and I'll flash it on the
Okay.
screen if you want.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
That's
so the watchers can see it.
I chopped it off and dyed it bright red. And so the next week, like 2 weeks after breakup, I show up to church with this super short red hair.
Oh my gosh! What did your mom and dad say?
Well, my mom was with me, my real mom was with me when I got it cut. She's a hairdresser, and so actually a girl at her salon is the one who did the cut and the color.
So she knew.
She was all about it. She's all for like,
I've
you
never
stick it to him, like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen you with short hair, but I think when I first started going to church there, I think you had maybe chin length
Kinda
or a
chin
little
length,
longer.
maybe,
Yeah,
probably about right here.
yeah, a little longer than chin length. Yeah, that's the shortest I've ever
Oh
seen
Lord,
your
I'm
hair.
gonna have to go way back. You're gonna have to bear
Yeah.
with me.
Okay.
It's way far back there, but. So, like 2 weeks later, he shows up to church, and I've got this super short red hair.
Oh my goodness!
He's not a fan of red hair.
Oh, funny.
So, like, we go through all the way through church, and after church, that girl he brought her back. Like, they dated for a hot minute. And so she's with him.
So this girl didn't go to the church.
Not before then.
Okay.
And not after.
And not after.
He brought her to church again. So he finds me after church and grabs me by the arm and is like, "What did you do to your hair?" And me just being sassy pants that I was and still mad because he brought another girl to church, even though I broke up with him. I said, "I don't really think that's any of your business." And I turned around and walked off.
That's hilarious.
I was all kinds of spicy about the situation at that point.
Love it.
But that was just the stupid, like, that's, I guess, really the only game that we played, like that. They dated for the rest of the summer.
Well, and I guess for me, and maybe it's because I'm a very blunt person.
Yeah.
If anybody that regularly watches or listens knows, and I tend to be on the blunt side, like I'm the type of person that I would be more apt, rather than say like, well, I'm going to get a girl and I'm going to try to make her jealous. I would just call them up and be like, you know what? I want to be with you. I'm tired of seeing you with this guy. Do you want to? That's what I would do. I'm just not into game playing.
Yeah, I can't find it right now. But
You can just text it to me, and we'll flash it on the screen.
This is probably the closest I'm going to get to, like, that. It was that color.
Oh, okay.
But it was shorter than that. Like, I went super short.
Super short. Oh, okay.
Stupid.
Yeah, text it to me. I'd love to see it.
But that was my retaliation. That's, like, really the only game we played. And so Cody calls me. And I went on a couple of dates with guys at this time, but nothing serious. Like, I still was hung up on him. And we would text here and there, but he was still seeing that girl. And so he called me one night and he's like, can I come see you? Like, I just miss you. Can I come see you? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes, please come see me. And so
At least you didn't give the whole, no, I don't want to see you.
No,
Even though you
I
really
was
did.
done at that point. I missed him, and I was ready for him to come see me. And actually, where I was going to school was where Michelle lived at the time, and she and my dad were engaged and about to get married.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like, I'll just come in and I'll take you and Michelle to dinner, and then we can hang out for a little bit before I go home. And I was like, okay. So he did. He came in and he picked me and Michelle up, and we went to dinner and spent some time together and took Mom home. And then he came back to my room, and we just sat and chatted for a while. And I won't ever forget it because it was like, he said, well, I was telling him, I was not going to have my scholarship and I didn't know what I was going to do. And he's like, well, why don't you just come home and we'll get married? And I was like,
Wow.
all right, is this a proposal? And he's like, yep, I think it is. And I was like, okay. So, like, there was no big moment, none of that.
Yeah.
But we knew pretty early that obviously we'd only been dating for a few months when he bought me a promise ring. So
Yeah.
we just had
You
go through
just
that
had a moment of
stupidity.
stupidity.
I had a big moment and oftentimes every now and then I'll be like, thank you for not holding my stupidity against
Right.
me.
I love that saying. It says something about, this isn't an exact quote, but it says, when God created you, he factored your stupidity.
Oh, he'd already factored in your stupidity.
So rest easy that, that's a great,
It's true.
that's a great quote.
So
Yeah.
true.
A great saying. Yeah.
But yeah, that was that whole time period was exhausting because I was constantly worried about who he was with and what he was doing, and like I'm sure we've never talked about it, but I would assume that he felt the same, and that's not fun. That's not a fun place to be. Like nobody wants to be feeling about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it happens a lot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think
I'm
that,
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that people do play those sorts of games a lot.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
exhausting to keep those games up.
Who wants to do that?
I don't know.
I don't need that kind of
Although
drama
there
in my
are
life.
some people, well, that's what I just started to say. There are some people that thrive on that kind of drama.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yuck. I did tell my mother-in-law this morning, though, that if anything were to ever happen to Cody, that I was not probably ever going to try to date or anything again. Can you imagine dating in this day and age?
Oh, that's
You're
why.
single,
That's why
so-
I'm still single.
Is it as exhausting and terrifying as I imagine it would
No.
be?
Being single?
No, like trying to date.
Oh, yeah.
It would be
Well,
scary for me at this point.
honestly, I at this point, I have no interest in that. God is literally going to
would
have to drop her in my lap
Yeah.
and say, "Here you go." Like I'm not even looking.
Yeah. I just told her.
I have
'cause
no interest in
I
it.
don't even know how Brenda and I got on that this morning, but we were having a conversation, and I was like, I just wouldn't. I was like, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could trust anybody. For one thing, I have children.
Mm-hmm.
How do you trust people with your kids?
It would take a long time to build up to the kind of trust where you trust that person with your kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a responsible parent, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
Yeah.
People are crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll move on from that. Anton and Dr. Minkoff later are talking, and he tells him, that he feels like he's just doing the same thing over and over with the same people, and that he doesn't really feel like he's growing as a person. I think we all kind of feel that at times, right?
Oh, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I felt like he was that's very much the human condition.
Yeah.
And he says, well, do you ever get tired of hearing yourself? Is what Dr. Minkoff says to him. Which I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, but
Yeah.
that's the kind of doctor you want, right? Like with a therapist?
For sure. That's what you're
That's what
paying
they're
him
there
for.
for.
Yeah.
And so...
They make you answer the tough questions.
Yeah. And so one of the things that he told him, he says, like, since you started tennis so early in your life, everyone has always been taking care of everything for you. Now that you're an adult, you need to start taking control of your own life. And so this is really where he kind of encourages him, like, step up and be a man.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good. And then you've got a reference here that I really love. 1 Corinthians 13:11. And this wasn't in the book, but this pertains to that. When I was a child, I thought as a child, but now that I'm a man, I must think like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. And
Yeah, when I read this interaction with the doctor, that verse immediately popped in my mind.
because that's basically what he's telling
That's
you.
basically, yeah,
You're not a
like
kid
this is
anymore.
not this is a secular book, but that's basically what he's telling him. When I was a child, I thought as a child. Now that I'm a man, I need to think like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that part of why I didn't love this book as much as some of the others is that I really missed that, because there is such an opportunity. Like, what he's searching for is Christ. But because it's secular, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, and they never alluded to any sort of
No, spiritual anything.
spiritual disciplines, even
That's
even
why he always feels empty.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing about people who aren't believers. you don't know what you're missing until you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you've heard this as many times as I have. If you've gone to church for more than a year, you've heard this statement probably. There's a God-shaped hole in your heart that nobody can fill but God.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and two, the people that I know that are the most passionate about the Lord are the people that walked without him for the longest, or that he brought out of really extreme situations.
Yes.
Because they know the emptiness of life without him.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things.
You and I were raised in church, so we were never, to that extent. Yeah,
Not
it's
to
hard.
say that we've been perfect.
No, we've gone through desert times.
And we've made decisions that separated us from Christ. Like, we've all
Totally,
sinned, so
yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I have not ever lived for a long period separated from Christ.
And I'll tell you, in being in church my whole life, there is a drastic difference in a person, and I'm talking about two godly people, very godly people, people that you respect as a. There's a big difference in people that are godly, that were raised in church their whole lives, and somebody who was brought to Christ out of the trenches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's just
There's a passion that lives in them.
that I feel like doesn't belong.
Well, and a lot of times those of us that are raised that way, we don't quite get it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
like,
not belong, but yeah, we don't get it because
Sometimes
we've
it
kind
makes
of
us
had it
uncomfortable.
good.
Sometimes it makes us uncomfortable.
It does,
Right? Of like,
yeah.
why are they? Why? And sometimes, and I hate to say this, I've been guilty of it. There have been times that I've been like, oh, that person's crazy
Yeah,
in their faith.
yeah.
I should probably have more crazy faith.
We all should. Yeah,
Like-
those, especially those of us that were born in church.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably need a little bit
And
of
I really
crazy
think
faith.
it's that they've just had a revelation of Christ in a way that maybe we haven't, because we haven't. And how blessed are we that we haven't lived through those situations?
Not discounting that at all. I am thankful I did not have to drag my way up through the muddy trenches to get to where I am today.
Right.
But I think there is something to. I just feel like their relationship is probably on a different level than ours because they know what it's like to literally be at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too.
And for God to pull you up out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think I kept missing in this book was like, I just wanted to scream at it and be like, if you would just find Jesus, you would be better.
Yeah.
You wouldn't feel empty inside.
Yeah.
Because really, the rest of the book, we see a lot of Anton just trying to fill himself up with anything, with meaningless relationships, with alcohol, with drugs.
Yes.
Not like illicit drugs, but performance enhancing
Performance,
drugs.
yeah.
You know, and he keeps thinking that like when he attains this number one spot, that's going to be the thing that fills him up and makes him happy. That he can get his dad off his back.
Yeah.
He can finally then go and be his own man.
But guess what? Life's empty once you hit number one because once you hit number one, there's nothing but down.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't go any further.
It is, and
That's why you need more stability in your life than those sorts of things. You need God. I didn't really think about that as I was reading, but yeah, he was searching for something, not knowing what it was.
Yeah.
But we are like, we know what he's
we
searching
know what
for.
you're searching for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that's why. I guess that's another reason why I guess we gravitate towards Christian fiction is because we know the redemptive power of Christ and how he does fill those empty places.
Yeah.
And it's more encouraging to me to read that than to read this.
He makes sense out of a life that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he does. He
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
So,
these kind of books do kind of feel empty for us. And again, we're not saying the book was not good.
it's a very well written book.
Yeah.
That's what I struggled with today. Is like,
But it almost feels empty when you know what the remedy for that is.
Yeah.
And they're going for everything but what they really need.
yes.
As Christians, that's where our mind kind of
It's
goes with it.
100%
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Anton ends up. So at this point, like 2 years have gone by. He's stalled out at 25 in the world rankings. People are kind of disappointed. They thought he would have been like in the top 5 by now.
And is there anything worse than everybody being disappointed in you?
No, that's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
So his dad's not traveling with him anymore. It's just him and Gabe and Adam and Bobby
Yeah.
that travel. And his dad kind of gets mad and is kind of a jerk every time he sees him.
Yeah, helicopter moms don't like being told to sit down and shut up.
That's right.
And that's they didn't say those words, but that's what they
what it
said.
was.
You're not welcome you're not welcome to come to any more of my games.
Yeah. Now, in the midst of all this, Anton has made a ton of money, right? Like,
Yes,
he's a
at this
millionaire
point,
in his own right.
he is. Yes, he's not relying on Dad's money
He's
anymore.
made, he's got some endorsement deals. He's got, He's making money from his tournaments.
He's
so
really on top of the world at this point.
He should have, by the world standards, he should be happy. He should have everything that makes him happy, right?
Okay, but here's the deal, and I'm sure you've noticed this too. The wealthiest people, they can't get enough.
The most miserable.
They're the most miserable because no matter how much they get, they want a little bit more. They want a little bit more. They want to achieve a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
So he buys his own house, which is great. Like, he needed that space, that his own, but it's just a house. Like, he talks about how it's not even really decorated. It's just
a place to crash.
Just a place to crash.
Yeah.
During this time, he's dating a lot of Eastern European girls. I thought that was really interesting that they said, and I thought this was really sad too. He said that, like, he preferred them over the American women because they were usually more messed up than he was.
Yeah.
How sad.
Megyn Kelly, if a Eastern European woman ever comes into Doug's life, you better keep a watch. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't think she has anything to worry about. She's beautiful.
She is beautiful. Yeah. In the most respectful way. These days, it's very uncouth for a man. Yeah. Yeah, especially as a man. It's very, women don't like men to, but.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
So his next big game, or next big tournament, is the Memphis Open. And he and then has a meeting right after that with his therapist. And decides again, like, okay, I'm going to recommit again to training.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I want to win a major, and I want to do it before I'm too old. Because he feels the clock ticking. Like, that's one thing throughout the book you kind of hear him talk about. Like, he knows his time is limited.
Yeah. Athletes know their career is very short. Yeah.
Then he winds up in New York City the same time as Anna. Winds up having a meal with her. They chat some about their careers. She asks him if he's happy, and he says, no, but I think I could be happy if I got a few things right.
Mm-hmm.
And then
or if you found Jesus.
Or if you found Jesus.
I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. But yeah, it's not that kind of book.
So then at the next U.S. Open, he does really well throughout, but then in the finals winds up with a terrible situation of cramps. But he does so well during that now the media is talking about him again and being like, oh, maybe this kid's going to do it. Maybe he's going to do it.
Which when you're in that, when you're at that level of life, you want people talking about you, even if it's about a sprained ankle, because you're back in people's minds, because you can leave people's minds just as fast as you go in. I imagine.
So part of the reason he did so well was because they had upgraded him to some different oral steroids that they called candy poppers.
Candy poppers.
And it gave him an edge.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 25 at this point, still hasn't won a major, and he's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And he decides to go ahead and start using the injectable
intravenous,
drugs.
Yeah,
and I was just like, man.
Don't go there.
Yeah. And I really like this quote that you put here. It says, I didn't feel sad at all. I'd become numb to considerations of morality in sport. I wanted advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That is a sad place to be.
That's a sad place to be.
But I think a lot of the world lives there.
Yeah.
Any advantage, whatever it takes that I can get over anybody else, I will do it. And it doesn't matter what it costs me or my soul.
Yeah. Or anybody else that gets in my way.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, do you think that it is as prevalent now?
Probably. I mean,
because they still test for it, like in all the major sports, right?
Yeah. Well, in fact, they probably test for it now even more than they did back. So maybe it is not as prevalent just because people know they can't get away with it as easily.
What I found really interesting though was when there's a whole section there where he talks about things that they're taking and how he takes specific things to hide the results. Like if he does get tested right after a match, how this one thing is supposed to hide a result or whatever.
It's kind of like you need uppers to bring you down, and then you need downers to bring you. Yeah, it's kind of that same vicious cycle.
I didn't realize that it was so scientific.
I didn't either.
But like through the rest of the book, part of Bobby's whole job is to like dial that in.
We're not recommending drug usage, but it was interesting to read because I never thought of it.
I hadn't either.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was so much science behind it.
Yeah. And so during the U.S. Open, he's ranked at number 11 in the world. He's doing great. Well, while they're there, a Chinese player dies from a steroid overdose.
Mm-hmm. And if that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is.
And Anton's kind of internally freaking and he tells Bobby, you make sure that whatever this cocktail is that you're giving me is safe.
But how can you know?
Yeah, and so that's the thing, because it's like an open secret, I guess, like all of this drug use, because they're all talking about it.
They all know it's going on, but nobody's talking about it.
But nobody will acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
So it would be interesting to know if in today's athletic atmosphere, if that's still going on. Like, to me, that almost feels like cheating.
Yeah.
Taking
Well, it
performance
is.
enhancing drugs, that feels like
is.
cheating.
So, and like
I want to win something of my own accord.
further in the book, though, he gets busted for it.
Yeah, he does.
And I thought that was really interesting, too, because the heads
And
of
I'm glad that he had a consequence
Yeah.
later on in the book.
the heads of these organizations that are the ones that test and that keep track of all, like the Tennis Federation or whatever it was, like they have a meeting with him because at that point he's ranked, like, what is he at one? Is he at number 1 at that time, or is he just right?
I think so.
In
Yeah,
the top 4, I think.
Yeah, he's if he's not number 1, he's
right
very
there.
close to it.
He
yeah.
gets busted for it. He fails
Yeah.
a drug test, and so but they cover it up.
They
At
cover
that
it
level,
up.
They cover it up.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting. And now it has me wondering, like, because often you'll see that athletes are out for whatever.
Yeah,
reason.
but basically
How
with
often is that
Anton,
happening?
yeah, they basically said you're going to have to sit out for 6
Just say
months
that it's a-
or
say that
whatever,
it's a
and
shoulder
we're
injury or
yeah,
a
we're
wrist
going to
injury.
say you're getting over an injury. So they totally glossed over to the public, well, and probably to all the rest of the
So
players.
there's no transparency.
No,
And so I wonder if that really happens now.
I would bet it does.
You know?
Yeah.
It kind of makes me wonder.
I don't know because I don't really follow the sports world. You would think today they would value people's lives more than to let people do stuff like that and
Right.
and not police it.
Right.
But when you're that high up, yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I thought
Yeah.
that was really interesting.
It would be interesting to see if stuff like that still goes on.
So 1 month after he had dinner with Anna in New York City, she sends him an engagement notice and an invitation
Yes.
to her engagement party, and he is heartbroken
Yeah,
because he thought he was going to marry Anna.
yeah,
So he ends up shuffling things around and goes to her engagement party against his better judgment. Winds up getting in a fight with her fiance, who actually is probably a jerk.
I would never.
I can't imagine. Like, why did you go?
Well, but like to me, I would never invite my ex to my engagement
Oh.
party. Like, why
But
would
she
you do
considers him a
that?
friend.
Well,
At this point, though, they'd only kissed like one time. And
true.
so even though there was all
maybe
this emotion,
maybe the feelings weren't there. Maybe because he had strong feelings toward her. Maybe the feelings that she had for him weren't as strong.
right?
Maybe that's why she did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would
she
never
considered
send
him
my
a friend.
ex. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty heartless of her.
It
like,
was.
she knows how he feels, so
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
He wins his first major at the Australian Open and finally makes it to number 1 in the
Finally
world.
makes it to number
He's
one.
there.
He's
We
there.
Made it. Oof. It was a long road.
Oh, it was.
Panos gets married. He goes home for the wedding, and his dad makes a big old scene. And can I just say, though, this was a moment I thoroughly enjoyed. He knocks his dad smooth out.
He does.
In the bushes
Isn't this
outside.
the point in the book where his dad tries to take credit for Anton making number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Which does not go over
And
because
he's like,
at this point, Dad has not been in the picture because they prohibited him from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have this huge fight. Anton leaves. His next big match is at Wimbledon, which is like in Europe. It's in London.
That's a big deal.
Wimbledon's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I like to watch clips of that because, again, the fashion. This is where the girls wear like the fascinators and like are
Yeah.
all dressed up fancy, and I think that's so interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Kentucky Derby.
Yes. Or
The Kentucky Derby
Brett,
of the
I want to
wi-
go to the Kentucky Derby someday.
We should.
That would be so fun.
Mom's always.
Let's take your mom.
We should, and
Jack would probably go with
Mom
us.
and I have always said we're going to go to the Kentucky Derby and we're going to try a mint julep.
I don't even know what a mint julep is.
It's an alcoholic drink. It's
What's
so
in it?
I don't know, but they drink mint juleps is a huge drink at the Kentucky Derby.
It's like the signature thing there.
It's like one of their signature, or it used to be. I
Interesting.
don't know if it still is, but yeah,
I just always think of the hats.
yeah.
Like the big floofy hats and fancy
Yeah,
dresses. I just think
I
it'd be
didn't
so
realize they were fascinators at the Wimbledon though, but
So,
that makes sense
for
because
different
it's.
things they do, yeah,
Is
for
it in
different
London?
events.
Is the Wimbledon
Yeah, it's in
London?
London.
Yeah, so that makes sense. They those fascinators are popular
fun.
over
Not
there.
maybe necessarily at the matches, but like for the events that lead up to it, like
Okay.
the and things like that.
Like the PR events
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
While he's at Wimbledon, there's this heckler in the audience that is like, and I knew as soon as it started, I was like, it's his dad, and it's his dad in a costume.
Yeah,
But he winds up
he's
having
dressed
to be-
kind of like a homeless guy.
Yeah, he's got like a long beard and all this hat. Well, turns out that like when security tackles him, because he was making such a scene that it was
Yeah.
disrupting the match. And so,
And I'm like, Dad, grow up.
what a jerk!
Right.
And that's kind of it. Like that's kind of the last.
And he was, I feel like he was trying to sabotage Anton.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was heckling him during the
He
game.
Sure was.
You know, and during
And so-
I'm imagine tennis guys, they probably need some sense of focus.
Yeah.
So heckler's going to break into your focus.
Absolutely.
So in my mind, he was trying to sabotage.
Oh, he absolutely was.
Yeah.
So then this is when he gets a phone call right after that one of his tests could come back positive, and he's like freaking out, like, oh my gosh.
And he has a meeting the next day.
Yeah. So that's where they fly him to New York City, and he meets with the International Tennis Federation and that federation's lead attorney, and they basically say, we're going to cover this up for you.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed in that.
Yeah.
I really was.
Well, and I'm sorry, when you're a multimillionaire, being off work for 6 months is not a great punishment.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would rather be playing tennis and all that. I don't know if the book, like, did he lose his sponsorships
No,
at
because he
that
tells
point?
him, he says,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
he tells him, you're going to have a 6-month suspension, but your absence isn't going to be labeled as such. You can tell the media that you can't play for 6 months due to an injury that needs to heal. And he says, keep training quietly off the radar, keep your reputation and all the side money coming in, and tennis avoids
So
the black
basically,
eye,
he got a 6-month paid vacation.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just couldn't play in public.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, gosh, that's so corrupt.
It is.
Why am I
It's
surprised?
very corrupt. Well,
I should not be
honestly,
surprised.
we shouldn't be, but yeah. It's kind of staggering to see it in print, but we know that's how the world works,
Yeah.
especially in the upper echelon.
Yeah. So while he's suspended, he gets bored and decides one night, I'm just going to call Anna, even though she's engaged. Because this engagement has, like, drug out. They got engaged, had the party, but then they've never made wedding plans.
Yeah, which I don't know. Part of me wonders, okay, if it's strung out for that long, was it really a serious
Exactly.
engagement to
And
begin
that's
with?
one of the things that it talks about in there is, like, in the tabloids, they kind of make those comments like, oh, it's dragging on. Are they even
Yeah.
actually going to do it? Or is it going to blow
Yeah.
over or whatever?
Yeah.
So she tells him, like, hey, I'm at a film festival in Toronto. Do you want to come and meet me? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he just hops on a plane and goes. How nice to just have the money
Right?
to hop on a plane and go.
Exactly. I could barely drive across the river.
Exactly.
That's too expensive.
Dude, with gas prices right now?
So tired of it.
Ridiculous.
So over it.
Yep.
The Amish have something going on for them during times.
Horse and buggies. Yeah.
I feel like there's something to their lifestyle when we're in times like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, he just decides he's going to go for broke with Anna now. Like, even
Yeah.
though she's engaged, he's going to lay it all out there on the line. And he kisses her on the lips when he first sees her. Well, okay, dude, she has a fiance. But she doesn't stop him.
Okay, well, and I kind of, again, we're coming at this from the Christian perspective. Not saying that Christians are lily white. We make mistakes
Right.
just like anyone else. But, like, if I was engaged, I wouldn't be calling
Another
somebody
girl?
up and say, hey, you want to meet up? And that almost feels like, what's the word, like some sort of emotional affair.
Right.
Like, do you feel like that's what they were doing at this point? Was it an emotional affair?
Oh,
Or
100% it was.
okay, because see, that's
100%.
where mine went with it.
Yeah. Well, for him, for sure. Like, she might have just been thinking, I'm going to go have dinner with my friends still.
Now,
There's
granted,
no denying that when...
yeah, no, and granted, they're not married yet, so
I
so
think-
it's not
I don't
technically
even think that. I don't
infidelity.
even think that because at this point there has been so much flirtation back and forth. And she knows.
She knows.
And she's flirting right back.
Yeah. So it's like break up with this guy
Be done
and
with
get
it.
with Anton and stop this little game, this charade you're on.
Yes. So at dinner he finally just says, look, I love you and I've loved you and felt like we should be together from the first time I met you. And so, like, I would love to have a relationship with you. And she's like, dude, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay,
With
well,
it,
listen.
why are you here?
Yeah, he's like, listen, I'm going to go to the restroom and I'm going to stay gone for a few minutes. And if I come back and you're gone, I'll know that this is done and I won't ever bother you again. And if I come back and you're still here, then this is on. We're doing this thing.
Yeah. Smartest thing he's done in a while.
I mean, really, yes.
Yeah, because relations like that can wreck you, especially if you're on the end, the desiring end. At some point, you do have to say, okay, you know what? This is not healthy for me.
Yeah.
We're going to do this or we're not, or I'm
Right.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I think now we're in the spoiler zone.
Yeah, you want to go into a spoiler zone? Yeah, for just in case anyone wants to read it. If you don't want to know the ending, check out right here.
love ya.
Thanks
See you
for
next
watching.
time.
Yeah, see you next time. So, yeah, so he leaves.
Comes
For a while.
out and, like, can see the table from where the hallway is and doesn't see her.
Yeah,
His
she's not
heart
there.
Just falls.
Yeah,
But then some arms come around him from behind and she's like, I'm right here.
yeah.
So she's like, yeah, no, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And they decide to be together. And so she agrees, like, I'm kind of at a spot where I can go with you. She just starts traveling with him to his games. And I think probably, I mean, even though, like, obviously, morally, we have an issue with this because they're not married.
Yeah.
She's a good grounding force for him, I think.
Yeah. Even though I feel like she
Anna
strung him along. Yeah, she was a good influence. I feel like she was not. She kind of strung him along. So in that way, I feel like she wasn't like a great person. But overall, she was good for him.
Yeah. So Anton still is not happy, though. And he's like, man, I got everything I ever wanted. I've got the money. I've got the girl. Like,
what else do you want?
I've won a major.
You need Jesus.
I've made number one. What do I do? Or he hasn't made number one. He's won a major, has a ton of money, and has Anna. But he still hadn't made number one. And so, because he's number 4 in the world.
Oh, I thought he had already made number one.
Oh, he had made number 1.
Yeah,
and then he dropped to 4.
Yeah, he's back down to 4.
Yeah. But now he wants to be number 1.
But again, that's what happens when you hit number 1. Nobody's going to stay at number 1 forever.
Right.
Once you hit number 1, there's nothing but down.
Exactly. But he decides he wants to hit it one more time and then retire on his terms.
People like that, it's never enough. If I have $1 million, I need $2 million. If I had $2 million, I need $5 million.
Yeah. They agree that he's going to keep going through the rest of the season and then probably be done. And Anton, like, at this point, is like, hey, maybe I want kids someday, and talks to Anna about that. And she's like, yeah, that's not a deal breaker for me. We'll have kids. So, like, they're making plans for the future. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, all of a sudden one night, he's just like, my body's had enough. After the next U.S. Open game, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
And he tells Anna that, and she's like, hey, listen, I support you. Which is what a good partner should do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, support you in your decisions.
Well, and she's probably making good money, too, so they're not retirement's not,
I'm sure he's still going to have his endorsements.
I wish I could wake up one day and say, I'm done with this, I'm retiring.
Independently wealthy. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
I would be right there with
Day
you.
jobs blow big time.
They're rough.
Yeah.
So at his last game, Anton's playing really well, and then all of a sudden his back seizes up, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, he ends up having to call an injury timeout twice, and his career is essentially over.
It's
he knows,
over,
like, it's time. His body has taken a beating. He's done all he can do, so he's done.
Yeah.
And that's where it leaves us.
Take your money and your woman and live happily ever after.
I did not hate this book, but I did not love this book.
Same.
I thought it was so well written. Like you said, the technique, the writing style, it's perfect.
I gave it 5 stars just because it was a well-written book.
It is no errors that I could see.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I could see, there were no plot holes. There was
And he is a compelling character.
Yeah. It gives you an aspect of life that most of us don't ever get to witness.
Yeah.
So for me, that was fun. Even though it's not what I consider one of my top reads of the year, honestly, I don't know that I would ever read this book again. Yeah. I would read the author again. I would be interested in a
book of his.
Yeah, I would love to read another one of his books, but this is probably not the kind of book I would ever read again. But but like when I'm reviewing books, I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many reviews I've read where people are like, hated the character, 1 star. Put some critical thought. If it's a well-written book, I have a problem giving it 1 stars.
Yeah, and
because that's part of.
No, I think it's a great book. I don't think it deserves a 1 star.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy it. If you are into elite sports at all, or if you're particularly into tennis,
you will totally love it.
I think this would be a great read for you.
Yeah.
I'm not into those things.
Yeah, same.
So I had kind of a hard time connecting.
For me, it was just fascinating, because it was a different world than I live in.
It really did feel like a peek behind a curtain.
It did,
of like a whole different life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I told him this morning. I sent him a text. I was like, I'm so divided about this book.
Yeah.
But
I was going to ask you about that during the podcast, but we never got to it. Divided in what way? Just
divided in, like, I thought it was really well done, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's hard to recommend.
So if you were going to give it 1 to 5 stars, what do you think you would give it?
I'd probably give it a 4.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to hand out a 5 star unless I just adore it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a difference in you and me.
Yeah. See, I'm a little bit different in that way.
But you're an author, and it matters for you guys.
Yeah.
And I think you approach it a lot with that perspective in mind.
Yeah. Well, as an author, too, there is such a thing as, oh, well, you gave me 1 star, I'm going to give you 1, even though I've never read your book, I'm going to give you 1 star.
Can you do that? I guess you can review books you've not read. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, that seems also shady to me.
It is
I would
shady.
never review a book I had not read.
Yeah, yeah. Although I do give, I guess I'm just not enough of a critic when I love books, and if I enjoy a book, I don't have a problem giving it a 1 star.
And I don't think that this was like a waste of my time or anything. There were actually portions where I was like, I want to get back and finish that. Like I kind of wanted to know what happened. So it was engaging in that it kept me reading. It's just not my favorite thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and again, I probably
Totally,
wouldn't recommend it unless you're a sports fan or particularly into tennis.
Yeah.
Then I might. Otherwise, I would like to try a different book of his and see what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too.
Because his writing style is impeccable.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was a good book. Probably not going to be for everyone.
No.
Like we said at the beginning, if you're a Christian reader who's sensitive to
Profanity,
carnal
intimacy.
type stuff, you might want to read with caution.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally read the author again.
Yeah, I would too. I would give him another shot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say before we get off here?
No, I just appreciate you letting me do this with you.
Oh, me too. Yeah, it's so fun doing this. It's so fun to talk to somebody who enjoys books as much as I do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice.
So, all right, listeners, thanks for joining us, and we will see you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Bookish Introverts podcast, where together we explore the worlds within the pages. Until next time, stay bookish.